When I was in college, I had worked part-time for a local television station. My job was simple: convert old VHS tapes into digital archives before they degraded completely. Most of the tapes were boring: old weather reports, high school football games, commercials from the 90s. Then I found one that wasn't labeled. The case was blank except for a small white sticker with a handwritten date: October 14th, 2006. No title, no notes. I put it in the VCR. At first, it looked like someone had accidentally recorded over a news broadcast. The first few seconds showed a local anchor talking about the closures after a storm. Then the screen cut to static. When the image returned, it showed a handheld camera recording a group of teenagers walking through the woods. I figured it was a home movie. Someone behind the camera laughed and said, "If we find him, you owe me $20. One of the kids replied, "He's not real." The tape glitched. The picture skipped ahead. The group had stopped walking. They were all staring into the trees. The person holding the camera whispered, "Do you see that?" The others didn't answer. The camera zoomed in between two trees. Maybe 100 feet away stood a tall figure in a black suit. At first glance, it looked like a person. Then the camera zoomed in farther. Its arms were too long. Its legs were too long. Its head was completely white. No eyes, no mouth, no expression. The camera shook violently. Someone screamed. The recording cut to static. I expected that to be the end of it, but the tape wasn't over. After about 30 minutes of the noise, the image returned. The words were empty. The camera was lying on the ground, tilted sideways. Leaves blew across the frame. One by one, the teenagers walked back into view. They looked wrong. They weren't running, they weren't talking. They simply wandered back from different directions and stood facing the camera. There had been 5 of them. Now there were 6. The 6th person was standing at the very back. He was much taller than the others. He wore a black suit, and where his face should have been, there was only smooth white skin. The camera suddenly zoomed in on him by itself. The tape ended. I showed it to one of the station engineers. He frowned the moment he saw the final frame. Then he asked me a question that caught me off guard. "Did you watch it all the way through?" I said yes. He nodded slowly and told me to rewind it. I did. He pointed at the opening news broadcast. "Pause it." I froze the frame. The anchor sat behind her desk, smiling at the camera. Behind her was a large window showing the city skyline. The engineer pointed to the reflection in the glass. Standing behind the camera operator was a tall man in a black suit. I hadn't noticed him before. The engineer quietly got up, ejected the tape, and snapped it in half. He threw both pieces into the trash. I asked him what was wrong. He only said, "That tape gets copied every few years. We don't know who makes the new one." Then he walked away. I forgot about it after I graduated. Years passed. The TV station shut down and was demolished. I moved to another state. Then, one rainy afternoon, I found a package sitting outside my apartment door. No return address. Inside was an old VHS cassette. No label, just a white sticker. June 15th, 2026, today's date. I don't even own a VCR anymore, but curiosity got the better of me. I drove to a thrift store and bought one for $10. When I got home, I put the tape in. The screen was black for almost a minute. There was nothing. Then the image appeared. It was the security camera footage. A man was walking up the stairs of my apartment building, carrying a cardboard package. The timestamp matched the exact time I found the box outside my door. The camera followed him all the way to my apartment. He set the package down. Then he looked directly into the security camera. He was wearing a black suit. His face was completely blank. The footage froze. A line of white text appeared across the screen. Do not look behind you. I laughed. I actually laughed. I thought it was such a cliche that I almost felt embarrassed for being unsettled. Then I noticed something the tape was still playing. The timestamp in the corner was still moving forward, but the image wasn't changing. The man wasn't frozen. He was standing perfectly still, watching, waiting. I reached for the stop button on the VCR, and from somewhere behind me deep in the apartment, I heard the sound of slow, deliberate footsteps, not walking toward the television, walking away from it. No.